Since the end of the 19th century, almost every home has a refrigerator in their kitchen. It's an appliance that can't be overlooked because there aren't many other ways of preserving food and goods unless you go grocery shopping every day, or unless you live in an igloo. Although refrigerators serve an important function, they can be very harmful to our environment. Not everyone knows the extent of damage that refrigerator pollution can do. And on top of that, according to Efficiency Vermont, before 20 years ago, refrigerators were the highest energy consuming appliances in the average kitchen. Before we had poisonous gases fueling refrigerators, the only substitute were ice boxes, or large coolers to put food in with a large chunk of ice in one compartment to keep everything cold. The change to using a gas chamber to cool the refrigerator was extremely beneficial at the time and served a great purpose. But it didn't come without a price.
Refrigerants contained in these fridges have a huge global warming potential. In addition to the ozone destruction potential, they have a huge global warming potential. If you take all the refrigerant included in all the domestic appliances, if you take all these ODS stockpiles, these ODS banks, the global warming potential right now is about 18 gigaton of carbon dioxide equivalent. This is basically 3 to 4 times the Kyoto Protocol. And so you have a huge time bomb there.
But since we have found out the harm that they can do to the environment, some changes have been made. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, any refrigerator made before 1995 releases CFC and HCFC into the atmosphere. Even more concerning, the old refrigerators that were disposed, if disposed improperly, can still release gases and harm the ozone.
GP is helping the Ministry of Environment to find solutions to manage ozone-depleting chemicals from the beginning, when they are produced, to the end of their life cycle when they are disposed of. So we help the manufacturers to change the technology to make CFC-free fridges. Then we help the servicing technicians to collect those CFCs from the fridges. And now we are helping in finding solutions to finance the destruction of those harmful chemicals to avoid that they are emitted to the atmosphere.
The chlorofluorocarbon, or CFC gas, is the same gas that is released from cooling towers in power plants and factories. Since the effects of the gases were discovered, there have been some alternatives to CFC for refrigerators.
The refrigerator manufacturers make some 70,000 units a year: fridges, cool boxes, and freezers. What's unique is that they're all environmentally friendly. The firm does not use the harmful ozone-depleting chlorofluorocarbons still common in Africa. They use natural coolants instead.
This is our bulk storage where we store our refrigerant. It's a hydrocarbon gas, totally friendly to the environment, and we are lucky to be the first ones in South Africa, or in Africa as a whole, to have this kind of equipment.
Most of them are still harmful to the ozone, but not nearly as much as the chlorine released from the CFC. When the CFC gas gets into the ozone, the sun's UV rays break apart the bond between the molecule and the chlorine atom, and the chlorine atom breaks apart the material making up our ozone. The CFC component in the refrigerators is in a liquid form inside metal coils that basically suck up all the heat around it and create cool vapor that circulates through the refrigerator. This cooling agent is a crucial aspect of something made to keep things cold. So when it was discovered that these gas emissions were harmful, substitutes for the CFC refrigerator were made. A gas called HCFC was then invented, which was still harmful to the environment, just not as crucially as CFC. Since both CFC and HCFC are now banned in refrigerator production, there have been variations of this gas and different strands of HFC, a similar gas, that are not as harmful to the environment as a replacement. As we can see, even the improvements and variations of the CFC gas are harmful to the environment. Although we have made some great improvements, spreading knowledge so people are informed can make the depleting ozone at least slow down until we find a fully eco-friendly refrigerator unit. Still, improper disposal or waste of these refrigerators is something very overlooked by the public. So to help slow down the depletion of our ozone layer, find out when your refrigerator was manufactured and what chemicals it's releasing, and make sure you recycle it properly when the time comes to get a new one.